from the Oak Wall Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, this is Jesse Oakley III, and welcome to the Oak Zone, where we provide positive words of wisdom for the happy people. Now, Monday through Fridays, I will share my plethora of positivities with episodes of the Oak Zone. But for right now, it's Sunday, and you are watching the Sunday Morning Chat series, where I have a chance to interview amazing, positive, and dynamic people that are making a huge difference within their communities. Whether it is yoga instructors, professional speakers, authors, or anybody else that brings positivity to the community, I interview them. And I am 200% excited that I get a chance to interview this lovely woman here today. I've seen this woman give her positivity through videos, through Facebook, and I've also seen this woman just do everything with a smile and a song. And for me, how can you not have positivity without this woman? I am thrilled to the bone that I get a chance to interview none other than Miss Laura Marie Porreca from 7Daily Habits. Laura, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic now that I'm interviewing you. All right. So, exactly. So without any further delay, let's chat.
All right, let's go.
All right. Now, I've heard of 7Daily Habits before, but would you explain what 7Daily Habits is?
7Daily Habits is my website. That's where you can find me, and you can find tips and techniques and ideas on how to live your best life now. What I discovered is people need habits, right? We got good habits and bad habits. And if you have a bad habit, you can't just let it go. You need to replace it with a good habit, because if there's a void, something's going to fill it up, right? Something's going to come into that spot. So 7Daily Habits was inspired. Want me to tell you how I created it? Okay, 7Daily Habits was inspired by my teaching. I've been teaching my whole life. Let me first tell you that when I was 5 years old, my mother put a chalkboard on the wall behind me, not behind me, but in my bedroom, and she handed me a pack of colored chalk. And that was the beginning of the end. At 5 years old, I started teaching the teddy bears. I taught my little brother. And when the kids in the neighborhood came over to play, can you guess what we played? We played school. I can't hear you. Is your...
I'm good. What you play?
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we played school, and I was the teacher. So I have been teaching basically since I was 5 years old.
Oh, man.
I remember straight out of college, walking onto the first campus. I was supposed to teach second grade, and I was so exciting. I'd teach them reading, writing, math, science, social studies. And on the first day of school, I walk onto the campus, bring my kids into the room, and they can't speak a word of English. Right? So I had to learn very quickly how to connect, how to bridge that gap. And that's when I fell in love with communication. So I started my business because I recognized that people need a system, a framework within which to work, to improve, to live their best life now, right? And so I started working at the college with second language students, and it was all inspired from my early days straight out of college when the kids couldn't even speak English, and I had to find a way to connect, to inspire, and then to teach. So at the college level, I was teaching students from all over the world, and I realized that some of my students, particularly those that came from China, had been learning English since they were 3 years old, but they couldn't speak the language. So if you can't just read a book to learn English, what must you do? And I created 7Daily Habits to improve your English. And then it all shot out from there. You see, you can improve any area of your life if you just create 7 habits. There's something magical about that number. So 7Daily Habits morphed from 7Daily Habits to learn English into 7Daily Habits to live your best life now.
Oh, man. Phenomenal. That's just phenomenal how you got started in that journey. And I know that you probably answered part of this question, but what inspired you to actually create all of this? I know we talked about it before.
Yeah, well, like I said, when my students couldn't they didn't have the basics. And I thought, you know, whatever we think is simple, really it's not that easy, because people put all these other things in the way. They have, we call it their BS, their belief system.
Oh.
Right? That's your BS, your belief system. And if you believe you have to just learn from a book, then that's all you'll do. You'll never step out and say, how do people really learn a language, right? How do people really succeed in life? Because everything morphed into business. Because as you know, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, everyone has the same challenge. And that challenge is how to get to the next level. And it's all about your habits. If you can create the right habits, you can get to the next level.
Ain't that the truth? I tell you. Now, what were some of the challenges that you faced in creating this opportunity?
I think that anyone that is going to be your coach or your mentor or someone you aspire to has to go through the journey first. So I had to take the journey so that now I can bring people along with me, right? I had to develop systems for myself to be a good learner, to be a great teacher, to be somebody that could help others. I had to first help myself. So when I left the business world of having a job to start my own business, then I suddenly was like, okay, what are the challenges in starting a business? And this is why many people come to me now for marketing skills, because that's a part of communication, right? Marketing, how do you get your message out? And it's all usually solopreneurs and entrepreneurs that are starting out, or leaders in companies that want to go up to the next level. And they have that same issue. They're like, how do I get to the next level? And what it really is this, I'll tell you the secret. This is the $1 million secret.
Mhm.
Mixing not just your business skills growth, but mindset. Because it's what's between your ears. If you have that self-talk that says, I can't do it, why should I do it? I'm a nobody, or I'm an imposter, I don't really know enough to do this. Then what happens is it plays itself out. The things that happen in your environment are a direct result of what's going on in here, and people don't realize that. They say, I'm learning all the skills, I'm doing the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, but why aren't I getting anywhere? And it's because you have to work on the BS,
Yes.
the belief system. So that's why habits are so important. If you get in the habit of having mentors, or setting yourself, like, for example, blocking your time, having a 2-hour time period during the day where you have no interruptions. You turn your phone on airplane mode. You tell people, put a sign on the door, no interruptions, and you work, you get your work done. That is a habit alone that can make you a millionaire within a few years, to be able to block your time. Other things that have to do with mindset are clearing up whatever garbage you have in there. And it's not, you know, most of us, we don't want to like say that, you know, maybe our parents might have influenced us in a negative way, or people that are supposed to care for us and love us, like teachers and family members. They don't mean to hurt us when they put bad stuff in there when you're a child. But the truth is, we get that, right? Don't cross the street, be careful. I told you not to do that, you know? And you go from being the kind of child, I saw this in my classrooms all the time, and working with little kids has really prepared me now for working with adults, because every adult, 100% guaranteed, if you're working with me, you were a child at once, right? Everyone was a child.
Yep.
Everyone started out the same way. So I'm in there, baby. I'm in your mindset. I know where you were. I know where you started, and I'm able to help get you to where you need to go. So that's the big challenge for me, was I had to get over myself. I had to go through, and we are all still in the process of improving. The people that you admire the most are still facing challenges. How about that? We tend to think, oh, they got it all made, they're doing great. No. They are still facing challenges. They're better at it though. I always tell my students, fail forward fast. That's how you win. You want to know the $2 million question, how to succeed? Fail forward fast is the answer. Because if you're willing to try, willing to take those chances, then you start to realize failure's not that big of a deal. I had a speaker friend, you know, speakers, we kind of hang out together sometimes. And she would say, okay, here's the road. And most people say they want to take a straight road to get to where they're going. But the truth is, the road really looks like this, right? Mm-hmm. The road is like a little bit backwards sometimes, take a few steps back. And you're like, oh, way over here, wait, I'm trying to get over there. And so the truth is, when you're on that journey, say to yourself, I'm not lost. I'm exploring.
Yo.
Right? I'm not lost. I'm exploring. It's okay if you went over here. You were exploring. You're allowed to see. Maybe that's the direction you want to go. You could take steps that you think initially are bad that end up being the best thing you can do. I had a bad boss when I left my job, and she was less qualified than I, and yet she was in a position to tell me what to do and to make my life miserable. And I remember talking to the bus driver one day at the school and saying, she doesn't like me. She's trying to get me fired. And he said to me, she is a step up to the next place you want to go. One day you'll thank her. And I was like, what? One day I'll thank her. She's miserable. She's making my life miserable. I used to think to myself that she was Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. Right? She's like, oh. But the truth is, now that I look back on it, it was the universe pushing me out of that. I was a big fish in a little pond. I needed to move on. I needed to move out into the world where I could have more growth, have my own business, be responsible for my time, my way, work with the people I wanted to work with. It was the next evolution of me.
You hear that, Laura? That was my mind going kaboom! Because I tell you what, with that answer alone, my mind has officially been blown up. And I really appreciate you with the Oak Zone Sunday Morning Chat Series. And as I get parts of my minds together, I will definitely ask the next question. Oh, man. Now, what were some of your best moments within 7 Daily Habits?
Since I opened my business, I think that there's so many moments that are like best moments, but they all involve other people. See, because I want to live in a world of positive, productive people that are making a difference, right? I want to empower people to think, because once you can think for yourself, you can change your life. It's people who just go along, and just do what they're supposed to and never really step out that end up at the end of their life looking back and saying, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, I wish I did this. When you go out there and make those mistakes and do everything, that's when you're infused with the vibrant verve for life. And so my best moments are my bucket list things. And some of them have to do with business and some don't, right? But so for business, the bucket list things where I wanted to be a global speaker. I wanted to speak on other stages, and I've spoken in Sweden. I've spoken around the world, which makes me feel, I guess it's probably an ego thing, because it really doesn't matter where you are when you speak, but I just felt like I wanted a bigger influence. So that was one of my bucket list things, to be able to speak globally. So that was one of the best moments, I think, and I actually spoke there 3 times. So that was making friends with the people that I met over there, like the owners of the Swedish Wealth Institute, being able to now be personal friends with them, to pick up the phone and say, hey, and they call me for advice. Right? I mean, they call me for advice. Now, this is where friendships are key. You create friendships with people, you help them, they help you, and we all rise together, right? So meeting people when I was speaking globally, when I coach, some of my best, not my inner circle of family, but the next level out, some of those friends are people that I've coached. They've stayed with me. We resonate. I'm like, in the beginning, I'm the figure that kind of has most of the answers, but really the best thing about coaching is not having the answers, but helping you to find your own answers, pulling the answers out, having the right questions, framing things the right way, so that you have that strength to be able to go inside and clarify your thoughts and have your own answers. So I have been friends with people that I've worked for in speaking. I have been friends with people who have worked for me, like people that I've coached, people that I've met along the way in associations and in networking. And let's see what else. People that I have hired to mentor me, people that have hired me to mentor them. So it's that kind of thing where you're helping someone along, but you need someone to help you along too. So if you're just trying to help people, I kind of really would caution you to say at some point, you're going to not have anything left to give, right? You got to keep growing so that you can be of value to them. At some point, they're going to be like, okay, now what you got for me? Nothing? You ain't been doing nothing, right? So you get help. And the hardest thing for me when I opened my business was paying for help, paying for mentors, paying for courses to get better. Because in all those years working at a job, right? All those years, They provide the training, they provide it. And yeah, you can read a book here and there to improve, but a lot of your training was kind of set for you. Your life is set for you. When you are an entrepreneur and have your own business, you are responsible for you, and you better grow, baby, grow, because that's the only way you're going to help others to grow, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So I have had some really great moments. Now, may caution you, for those of you that are considering starting your own business, it's a roller coaster ride. You're going to be up and down. Ain't no highs without the lows, right?
Exactly. Ebb and flow, ebb and flow.
That's right.
I'm going to call you a teacher, Laura, because you're really taking me to school today.
That's right. Take notes, brother.
All right. Testify. Now, I'll tell you this much. If what you had a part of your answer leads into the next question. If someone like myself is amazed and inspired and in awe of what you're doing right now, wants to do what you're doing, what's the best words of wisdom that you would give this person?
I think the best thing you could do right now is to begin listening to Listen to Laura. I know it's not the fanciest name for my podcast, but Listen to Laura on Anchor or Spotify or your favorite place to listen, because the episodes in Listen to Laura are all geared towards what's between here. See, when I started teaching communication, I thought, okay, it's communication and connection. And then I realized, wait a minute, there's a third hidden element. It's communication, connection, and self-control.
Oh.
We got to get control of our bodies, of our minds. You know, look at your hand. You have a hand, but are you your hand? No, you have a hand. We have a body. And here's the part most people miss. You're not your mind. You have a mind. So the part of you that's just kind of like invisible, that when you die, you're like Wayne Dyer says, your body weighs the same when you're alive. And then immediately when you die, you still weigh the same. So where is the real you that's gone when you're dead? That part of you that has no weight, that's the part of you I'm talking to right now. The part of you that's really you, not your body or your mind. You got to take control of your mind. You have to decide, I'm the captain of the ship. And the mind is a part of the ship, right? And the body could be the ocean or whatever, but you are in charge. And when you take control and have that self-control and develop that, the world is your oyster.
Oh, man. You are totally blowing my mind in this whole interview on this show. This is why I wanted to have you on this show, because of all of this amazingly awesome, extraordinary words that you're sharing today. And I'm getting a plethora of notes right now, right here. And I'm just getting chills, you know? This is unbelievable.
Thank you.
All right, now the next question I have for you is, if someone wants to know more about 7 Daily Habits, where can they go?
They can go to 7dailyhabits.com, and I would encourage you to go and sign up for my 21 communication tips. You can also be on my newsletter then, and I'm going to be creating a subscription program where people can, for like $10 a month, all join into this community of inspired learners, people that want to improve. They want to live their best life now, right? And so we know we've got to work on ourselves in order to be able to work on everything on the outside. It all starts on the inside. So go to 7dailyhabits.com. It is the number 7, not the word. 7dailyhabits.com, not to be confused with Stephen Covey's 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. Oh my gosh, it's too close, but he was onto something there with 7. So 7dailyhabits.com, and then sign up for my 21 communication tips. Everyone needs to communicate better. Everyone. Communication equals wealth. And by the way, you know how people use hashtags?
Yeah.
Well, my hashtags are #acapella speaker. So if you ever want to see, where's Laura speaking lately, which now in these modern times, we're doing a lot of Zoom instead, but find out what I'm doing, go to #acapella speaker. And for any other of the information, like for communication and my podcast and all that stuff, #communication equals wealth, because it does. The better you communicate, the more healthy, wealthy, happy you will be. Think about health. You communicate with your body. If you see that perhaps like, okay, I'm 58, so we get a little bit of this going on right here, right? We're like, all right, what do you got to do? If I'm not communicating with my body and I'm never looking in the mirror because, I don't want to see that extra bit of skin right there, then that lack of communication is going to cost me my health.
Yep.
If I decide, right, if I decide I want to live my best life now, and that includes physical health, I got to communicate with my body. I got to say, I love you just as you are, but we're going to do some work. We're going to do some cardio. We're going to do some weightlifting. We're going to get it together. And I talk to myself. I tell my body, this is what we're doing. And so similarly, in all areas of life, you've got to be at the helm. Like I said, you are in charge. You're controlling that ship. And so, yeah, so that's what you want to do. You want to go to 7dailyhabits.com, sign up for my communication tips, and then you can be better, stronger, and live your best life now.
Whew. You know what? The information that you give, and for all the happy people out there, the descriptions for her links will be right below on this YouTube episode. So if you miss any type or any information here, remember the links are right below. You can check it out for yourself. And if you look at this interview, you'll never be disappointed with what Laura has to offer.
Oh, you're too sweet.
All right. Now, we're almost at the end of the interview. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
You know, I always tell people, because some people say, well, I don't have enough money to have mentors. So usually when people ask you, who do you want to give a shout out to? It's your mentors, right? The
Yes.
people that have pulled you along so that you have the energy to pull other people along. And so I would want to start saying who my mentors are, and that's who I'm proud of. But the truth is, if you really, really, really want to know who my shout out is for, it's for my people. The people that trust me to lead them. The people that go to my website and sign up because they want to get more from me. The people that go on Facebook to my private Facebook group, which is called The Inspired Learner. They want to learn from me. If they don't have money, they'll say, I don't have money to hire you as a coach right now. And I say, you know what? That's okay, because you can find someone dead or alive to coach you. What? Dead or alive? That's right. If you like what Wayne Dyer does, you can read his books. If you like, just choose a mentor, anybody, alive or dead. There's probably a book out on them or a YouTube video or somewhere you can go and learn about them, and they can mentor you even if they never know you. And that's my goal too. I hope that I am able to reach enough people that at some point, I'm sure right now it's already happening. And here's my proof. I had a baby, and this is 20 years ago. I had a baby. She's 19 and a half. And I was taking her my family had come to town, and we went out to a fancy restaurant in Las Vegas, right? So we're down at this fancy restaurant waiting outside to get in one of the beautiful casino hotels. And the hostess comes up to me and she goes, Miss Wolf? It was a student I had the first year I taught, second grade, when I came out to Las Vegas. And she had grown up, and she was a hostess, and she said, you helped me so much. And she started telling me the things I did that inspired her and changed her life. Second grade, and she remembered me. That, when you can be, and I'm not trying to be facetious, but parents have told me you're one of the greats as a classroom teacher. When you can get to that level of giving so much of yourself that people, when they're far away from you and years later, you've made an impact on their life. That's what's so important about this and what you're doing, Jesse. You are changing people's lives. People will come back and watch these over and over, and YouTube is a great place because they don't disappear. On your Facebook feed, people don't want to scroll down to yesterday, right? On Instagram, they're tired of scrolling, but on YouTube, it's alive. It's alive, right? So you can change people's lives. You can be a change maker, and that is worth more. So my shout out is to every person who ever trusted me enough to listen to me, to my advice, to my encouragement, to my ability to stir up whatever's inside your heart to make you want to improve and to have your best life.
Fireworks are going off right now. I tell you, this is just amazing. My goodness. Woo! I tell you what, folks, you are not disappointed with this interview. And for me to say that is a huge understatement. Now, I have to ask you this last question, because we have lots of happy people, a plethora of positive people that are here right now watching this video. What other words of wisdom would you like to share with all the happy people that are watching right now?
All right, I'm going to give them a tip. But first, I'm going to say what I always tell people, and that is, see what you see, not what someone else tells you to see. So in this interview, the notes you've taken, and whenever you go out there in the world to learn, because we are continual learners. That's why you're here right now watching and listening. You are a continual learner. You have decided to be a lifelong learner. So don't just take what people say, including what I say. Look, see what you see, and then decide, okay, you know what? This one thing Laura said resonated with me, or this one thing bugs me. I have to wrestle with it, but maybe in the wrestling with it, I will change my BS. I'll change my belief system, and then I'll realize, wow, that was golden, right? But don't just take my word for it. See what you see, and then you'll be able to really embrace it and change, because that's what it's about. It's about change. It's about us deciding to do that one little thing that makes all the difference in the world in our life, so that we can look back later and say to someone, hey, you know that one thing you said or that one thing you did, that inspired me. Thank you. And even if they never do, just know that just by being you, Jesse, by being who you are, you're making a difference in the world. The people who don't make a difference in the world are the ones that are afraid to show up.
Yep.
And it's our job to say, you don't need to be afraid. Come on, look, see what you see, be aware, wake up. I tell people, wake up.
Yes. Ooh, I tell you what.
Okay, so here's the tip I promised. The tip I promised. Because a lot of times people are feeling sad, right? You're like, Laura, you're so happy all the time. Here's the truth. Nobody's happy all the time. I'm happy most of the time because I've discovered how to recover quickly. Now, you want to know how to recover quickly?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of ways. So if you really want to dive in, you got to hire me as your coach. But let me give you a quick little tip. If you want to discover how to improve your mood immediately, let's say you're just down for whatever reason, look up. Right now, just look up. It creates in your brain happiness feelings. Now, I don't know why, Jesse. I don't know why. I only know that looking up, maybe it has to do with spirituality, who knows? But looking up just creates a happier openness in our brains. You know how sometimes people ask you a question and you look up, your brain's trying to find the answer. So something about looking up, I have discovered in my bleakest moments, I'm looking down. When I'm sad, I'm looking down. But when I force myself to look up, hey, it starts improving my mood right then and there. And another thing I've had children do is when they don't want to smile, I say, force a smile. It will signal your brain that you are happy, and you'll suddenly feel happy and you won't even know why. And if you can't force a smile, grab a pencil or a pen and put it in your teeth. It forces you to smile, which forces you to feel happier. Who knew? Your body, your brain takes the message from the body and says, oh, I must be happy. What's going on? Right? So there's some quick little tips for you. Don't forget, 7dailyhabits.com. Sign up for my 21 communication tips, because I want to stay a part of your life. Everybody who's out there, thank you for watching. We appreciate you, right? We appreciate them so much.
I tell you what, I have a cold drink right here. I'm holding my hand. And because you just set me on fire for this whole interview. I tell you, on behalf of all the happy people that are out there, I got to say thank you for the amazing words of wisdom and the dynamic energy that you bring out to this interview. It's definitely needed. And this is why I interview the positive people for you, the happy people. And if you want more plethora of positivity, go to YouTube, type in my name, Jesse Oakley III, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, and share this interview for more plethora of positivity. I have close to 250 videos, and they're right there waiting for you. Now, if you want more of Laura's information, the links are in the description below. And if you get a taste of this interview, imagine what Laura can do for you, the happy people. Until then, this is Jesse Oakley III, and I hope to see all you happy people soon down the road. Take care and have a great day. Bye.